When life is busy, it can feel almost impossible to continue to make progress on your art. But with a shift in mindset and the right approach, you can continue to progress. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that for myself during one of my busiest seasons.
I'm going to be sharing the start of a very small informal drawing challenge that I created for myself. And this was designed to help me stay creative and keep building my skills even when I only had a few minutes to draw each day. Make sure you stay until the end because I'm going to be sharing my best tips for making art when you're short on time, the materials that can help you work faster, and how to loosen up your style without feeling like everything is falling apart. So I've been holding on to this small watercolor sketchbook for a while, and it's just been begging for the perfect project. I decided I would love to use this to document my summer. Originally, I planned on doing one sketch a day in this book, but as summer unfolded and I felt out the rhythm of this challenge, I gave myself permission to slow down a bit and stretch this over the whole summer. If you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you know that I love my colored pencils. But let's be honest, colored pencils are not the ideal medium when you only have 15 minutes to work. And there is a tendency when I'm working with pencils to get caught up in little tiny details that I am not going to have time for with this challenge. So I am going to supplement my pencils with something that allows me to lay down color much quicker. And my favorite material for that is portable watercolor sets. I have collected quite a few over the years, and for this particular challenge, I pulled out two different sets that I thought had a great range of color, that were very portable and easy to use on location, and would help me draw the flowers and scenery that I would be experiencing throughout the summer. For my very first sketch, I really didn't know what to expect, but I was curious about how long the sketch would take. So I set a timer and I dove in, referring to a photo that I had taken on a hike earlier that week. I started really loose, it was moving along pretty quickly, and once I had a base layer done with these pastel watercolors, I came in with some watercolor markers. I figured that these watercolor markers would help me lay down bright, vibrant color quickly, and they did do that, but I wasn't thrilled with the results. I just didn't get enough out of them for how much time I was putting in. At about the 15-minute mark, I pulled out my Derwent drawing set of colored pencils to begin to add some line work, value, and detail. And this is a great way to have a looser drawing, but to still play with materials that you're comfortable with. Laying in a really loose background with a material that's compatible with colored pencil, and then coming over the top with some of the details. When you work with a timer, you're not going to allow yourself to get into the nitty-gritty of every single little detail, but spoiler alert on this one, I did end up going a lot longer than I planned, and that gave me some really good insight on the decisions I was making and how I could adjust and adapt that for future drawings. When all was said and done, this sketch took about 30 minutes to complete, and I learned a lot, but I want to speed up. This challenge is all about creating art in short bursts, and I just don't have that many uninterrupted 30-minute blocks during the summer. So I'm going to take everything that I learned, and I'm going to bring it with me on location to a rose garden. Drawing on location always helps me speed up, and in addition to my sketchbook, I'm going to bring those two watercolor palettes. I really liked the colors that were in these, and I'm going to continue using them for the next few sketches. I also grabbed a handful of colors that I thought that I would be seeing in the rose garden, lots of pinks, reds, and a few greens that I didn't have in my Derwent drawing set. And then I went ahead and grabbed the entire Derwent drawing set because it has a great range of neutrals, and these neutrals allow me to ground my drawing and keep them harmonious. I am not going to lie to you, I was pretty uncomfortable while I was making this drawing. I was sitting on wet grass, I had hot sun beating down on me. I didn't have a very comfortable drawing board set up, but this actually worked out in my favor, and I was so much happier with this sketch than I was with my first one. Plus, I did it in a third of the time, only 10 minutes, or maybe even less. So after finishing this drawing, I decided I wanted to take everything that I learned from this experience and apply it to a more comfortable situation in my studio. And I decided to do that first sketch all over again. Repetition is key when you are learning a new skill. So why exactly did that rose sketch work better than the first drawing? Well, Part of it was because I got out of my head a little bit. I was uncomfortable and I couldn't lean into those things that I did naturally in my regular work. And getting out of my comfort zone forced me to come up with other solutions that would work and, quite honestly, get me out of that situation faster. I didn't want to get sunburnt. I wanted to get back in the shade and get some water. And those motivations helped me create in a more strategic, quick way. I didn't have that same discomfort in my studio, but I could kind of invent it by setting a timer or remembering the urgency in that last experience. I also left a lot more white space, and I really focused on laying down marks and leaving them alone. This wasn't about getting everything perfect. It's about a first impression, a playful mark, and exploring color and getting into my sketchbook. Just because you're using paint doesn't automatically mean you're going to be moving faster. The kind of brush that you use makes a big difference. And here I'm using a larger flat brush that really encourages me to lay down big strokes and leave them alone. Play around with different brushes and experiment with what kind of brushes help you speed up your process and find joy in creative mark making. Once my paint dried, I came in with my colored pencils and I focused on my line quality. Line quality refers to how thick or thin a line is, and I was really playful as I studied the edge or the contours of this flower. Notice that I didn't copy the reference exactly. I played around with the composition to make it more appealing and make it fit on this page. Give yourself permission throughout the process to move things around and to not copy your reference exactly. This piece was one of my favorites that I made during my first week. I started with a really loose and colorful backdrop that mapped out the colors that I saw in my reference photo. And then I came in with a new tool. This is an acrylograph pen, and it lays down a smoother, bolder mark than a colored pencil, which is better for texture and layering. Look around your personal art supply collection and see what other tools you could add into a loose expressive sketch. Maybe there is the perfect tool that will allow you to create marks in a more fluid, a more efficient, or just a more playful way. I know this piece looks pretty abstract, but I actually was referring to a photo reference that I took inside a cave. I loved this because it didn't really have to look exactly like the photo reference, but the reference did give me some great inspiration for shape and composition. This exercise reminded me a ton of automatic drawing, one of my very favorite drawing exercises, which I'll share more about at the end of this video. The reference for the cave and for this flower were both photos that I took as I was out enjoying my busy, wonderful life. And this is something that I want you to keep in mind. You don't need to be drawing all the time to be an artist all the time, because being an artist isn't just about making the art. It's about finding inspiration, and it's about slowing down and appreciating things. When you're in a busy season of life, make an extra effort to think creatively, to be in your artistic brain, even if you are not physically making marks on a piece of paper. The more that you practice this skill, the better you're going to get at it, and the more it will become natural to enjoy the world around you and find those sparks of inspiration. Then when you do have moments to make art, you're ready. You know exactly what you want to make next. Here is another cave drawing, and this one I liked even more than the first one. I changed up my process a bit, beginning with the lines and then adding the watercolor on top. And I played with a very specific color scheme. This is a triadic color scheme, and I dive deep into constructing color schemes in my course, The Color Lab. There's more details on that down in the video description. I think I ended up liking this one more because I was able to experiment with a bunch of different techniques in that first cave drawing, pick the ones that I thought worked the best, and implement them into the next iteration. Repetition is so big when it comes to developing artistic skills, and for whatever reason, I just don't think visual artists really have understood this the same way that musicians have understood this. I listened to my son at his music lessons, and he is asked to play the exact same piece of music multiple times over the course of a week. And as visual artists, I feel like we just kind of jump from one thing to the next way too radically. And I'm totally guilty of this myself. But what if we slowed down and focused on one subject or one color scheme or one material for an extended period of time, playing with the very same iteration over and over again until we actually mastered the concept? Ironically, I have radically changed my subject matter from the cave drawing to the bird, but my color scheme and the materials have remained constant. And over the course of working with these materials for several drawings, I've definitely started mastering combinations of these materials that I'm very happy with. If you're uncomfortable loosening up and playing with your materials in a really quick, expressive way, a great stepping stone could be to work with a photo reference that you have already drawn before. Recently, I drew these peppers as a demonstration for my 3 Pencil Magic mini course, where I used just 3 colored pencils to mix all of the other secondary and tertiary colors. This project was a little bit longer and more involved, maybe 3 to 4 hours, but because I drew it recently, the information on these peppers is fresh in my mind. So I challenged myself to redraw the peppers as quickly as possible, and this is the result. Did I get every single detail that I captured in my other drawing? Absolutely not, but that was never what it was about. This challenge was all about drawing within time constraints and making art even when I'm busy. Whether you're in a busy season of life or you're interested in loosening up and trying new things, I really encourage you to implement the tips and the things that we talked about in this video and to come back soon and check out what I was able to accomplish in the sketchbook this summer. Additionally, if you're looking for more resources to help you with your sketchbook practice and loosening up, I want to direct you to my automatic drawing video. This is that process that I mentioned when I talked about my cave drawings, and it's an incredibly beneficial exercise for not only your drawing skills and your creativity, but also for your mental health and well-being. I'll see you over there.